Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a special episode of our Radio Atlantic, a show that Yannick and myself have been hosting over the past 2 months. And today we have a special episode for ocean rowers. You might be an ocean rower who maybe is thinking about signing up to row across an ocean, or you have already signed up. First and foremost, Yannick, is that a good idea or no?
Maybe one thing, obviously it's also interesting for people that just want to know things that ocean rowers want to know about the boat or something else.
That could be. Then again, should you row an ocean?
Yeah.
Of course you should. Do it now. Sign up. Anyway, so, whoa, look at this bird. It's huge. Wow. So, back to the topic. I have some questions. When I signed up for the row across the Atlantic, Yannick, I was a little bit confused with all the short abbreviations of words. For example, communication-related abbreviations. We have a VHF, or radio. We have a BGAN, and we have sat phones. Yannick, what's a VHF?
VHF is a radio.
What is a radio?
A radio is something where you can transmit radio frequency waves, which can transmit sound or digital signals to communicate with other vessels or land stations.
Okay, so it's basically like your walkie-talkie.
Pretty much. It's a big walkie-talkie.
A big walkie-talkie. Okay, and in our vessel we have a handheld VHF and we have a fixed VHF. One is inside the cabin, fixed to a VHF unit, and the other one we throw around. Yannick has it in his cabin, so if we need to communicate from one cabin to the other because the weather is really bad, Yannick will just talk to me on the radio. Danny, are you up? I would say, Yannick, I'm up. What's up? So, and then we have a BGAN. Yannick, what's a BGAN?
A BGAN is a satellite pointing device connecting to the internet. In our case, it's working with the Inmarsat network, which is a satellite internet provider or a satellite phone provider. And it looks like it doesn't look like, but it works like your home TV satellite dish. So you have to open it and put it on and then point it onto the satellite of Inmarsat, and once you've done that, you got internet.
Yes, you just switch on your phone, you switch on your Wi-Fi, and you basically have internet. It's very slow, but it works quite well. Today we send out a total of, I think, 160 megabytes of videos for a TV appearance from us. So yeah, it's quite nice. And then the last one is a sat phone, which is probably quite easy, a satellite phone, which you also point towards the near satellite. It kind of looks like, what does it look like?
Looks like a Nokia with a fancy antenna.
Yes, these really old ones where you have to pull out the antenna actually, and then once you hold it to your ear, you even have to tip the antenna into the sky so to make sure that the connection is good. So these are communication devices. Then we have safety devices. Yannick, I always heard at the beginning that you need to have an EPIRB. What the hell is an EPIRB?
An EPIRB is an electronic device which transmits another form of long-wave radio signal, which signals that you are in distress and locates your vessel.
Amazing. So in our case we have an EPIRB that is fixed to our boat, and if there's a hydrostatic release, so if the boat capsizes and sinks, or for example, or if there's enough water pressure on it, the EPIRB will activate automatically, which means that, whoa, the bird just caught a fish. Crazy. And it caught it, wow! And there was a bluefish jumping out of the water. Oh my god, what's going on here? Nature. Wow. That was crazy. He ate it in one go. So there is wildlife apparently on the Atlantic. That's good to know. So we have one EPIRB with a hydrostatic release. So if the boat capsizes and enough water pressure on the EPIRB, it activates and sends a signal to the Coast Guard, and they will make sure that they send someone to rescue you or try and contact you. And then we have a loose VHF, which we have in our grab bag in case we abandon our vessel and go into our life raft, and then we can activate it if we need to. And then there's a PLB, which is another safety device. What is that?
That's a personal locator beacon.
Okay.
Which is basically like a small EPIRB, but it's not for the vessel, but it's for the person. But it works the same. So you activate it, and then it sends a signal to the satellite, which then transfers it to the next ground station of some form of Coast Guard, which then coordinates your rescue based on the location the device sends.
And I see that you wear your PLB always on your belt, which is fixed to our... what's this called again?
Safety.
Jack stays. So we are clipped onto our jack stays, and we are in a harness which is also holding a personal locator beacon, which we can activate if we get separated from the boat, for example. Cool, so this was a little technical. I think now let's do a few more easy ones. Yannick, if you need to go to the toilet on the Atlantic, what do you do? In an ocean rowing boat?
I get some dry paper towels.
How many?
3 or 4, depending on what I'm expecting.
Interesting.
And then I get one of our buckets. It's always the same one. Which is attached to a lanyard, and fill it up with water. I would say it's in our case it's a 20-liter bucket, and I fill it up halfway, put it in the middle of the boat, and then sit on it, hold myself up a bit because I'm heavy, and give it a go. At least if I have to take shit. If I need to do small, then we have urinate bottles, but I know that you have a different technique for doing this.
So yeah, basically I also do the bucket, I also fill it with water, but I don't put it in the middle of the boat. I keep it in a little bucket holder thing, and I squat over it, and it's been working quite well. Squatty potty basically, and then we have our pee bottles, which there's 2 ways to do it. Either you go through your trousers, through one of your legs of the trousers, or you just pull down your pants and you pee into the bottle, and then you lean it over, which is much easier than leaning your body over the boat to go for a wee, because that's a little bit dangerous in some cases as well.
It works only for guys though, I like this.
Yes, which we are, I think. Not too sure. Alright, so I think that's enough for today's episode, unless Yannick, you want to explain one more gadget on the boat?
No.
Good, then we will talk to you in the next episode. These were a few things at the beginning that I was a little confused, but it's very straightforward actually. So if you want to row an ocean, don't get too confused, you will figure it out. It's not that technical, to be honest. Maybe the weather is a little bit, but we'll get into that next time. Goodbye!
Goodbye, and pro tip, take a dictating device for podcasts.
Yes. In our case, a Philips voice tracer.
6600 Pro Edition.
Oh.